chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
And we are back. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and Black culture is supreme. The KKP is brought to you by patreon.com/chaotic culture pod. Please be sure that you subscribe to patreon.com/chaotic culture pod and get bonus episodes and content to help keep the lights on, of course. It doesn't matter how much you donate, whether it be $2, $3, $5, $7, $10, whatever you subscribe. Once again, we still appreciate your support. If you aren't familiar with this podcast will deep dive into modern Black culture and how millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha can navigate the crazy parts from finances, music, Black business highlights, content creators, home ownership, HBCUs, sports, Black nerddom, anime, wrestling, and so on and so forth. If it encompasses Black culture, we are going to cover it. So, live from the 410, I am the host and the creator of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. This is your boy, Ked the Pro, aka the Calculator Millennial, aka the Encore Presentation.
Can I get an encore? Do you want more?
AKA your favorite toxic adjacent king, Ked the Poet, Ked the Closer, all that good stuff. 843 is me. Baltimore's the place to be. Always chaotic, never toxic most days. Back again, once again, with your favorite Black culture highlights and Black culture shenanigans. So as you can see, I am here by myself. Not the first time, definitely won't be the last, but unfortunately, a lot of my co-hosts could not be here. Law is still getting his command, so he's getting ready to move to a different location. So hopefully he'll be able to tap in next week. And of course, Steve is on parenting duties. So there's that. I believe Sappy is still in school and no idea where the other two are. Hopefully Johnny's doing well. And I know that NASA is still taking time for herself. So, yep, it's just me, ladies and gentlemen, but the show can't go on without me. So I do want to apologize because this is actually the first episode of 2025. And I do apologize for it taking so long to actually get an episode going. The main reason, well, a couple reasons. One is because usually I try to get a break during the Christmas holidays anyway. And so I wanted to come back at the first of the year, but unfortunately work got in the way and I was still working a crazy schedule. And then on top of the fact, I ended up catching the flu. And I wasn't going to give you guys an episode with me pretty much being down with the flu. That wasn't going to happen. And even as I record this episode now, I'm over the flu, but there's still that lingering cough that just stays there until after you get sick. So yeah, it's one of those things where the cough isn't going away completely. And so that's why I also have, of course, my cup of water here. So that way, if I do happen to break away from the mic or anything like that, or if you see me coughing, I do apologize. I'm not going to edit that out. That's too much. But still, if you see me coughing, that's why. It's because I'm still dealing with the after effects. But I am, 100% cured for the most part, with the exception of the cough. And of course, I'm no longer contagious. So there's that. But yeah, I was down bad. It was not a good feeling at all. And this kind of goes into my mental health check. Ooh, excuse me. Because yeah, not only was I down with the flu, but just working. And y'all already know that I have a crazy schedule, which is getting ready to be a little less hectic, I suppose. But we'll see where that goes when the top of February rolls around. So yeah, it's been one crazy January. Of course, I'm recording this episode as of January 20th. So of course, on the 21st, you will see this episode on your YouTube channels. Please be sure that, of course, once again, that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, so that way you can get any updates and all updates from the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Or if, of course, you are listening on Spotify or Apple, please be sure that you give us a 5-star review. But yeah, you will hear us on your streaming platforms here pretty soon. I have to say this, of course, this is January 20th. It's a Monday, so of course this is Dr. Martin Luther King Day. And it's also coinciding with another day, but I don't want to talk about that because who would want to talk about that bullshit? But it's happening. So it's like I kind of have to acknowledge that it's happening, and I pray that the country isn't doomed. But I mean, here we are. So this is what the people wanted. So my attitude for the next 4 years, hopefully it's 4 years and not more. I'm just gonna be like, I told you so, or we warned you. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But anyway, this day, of course, is dedicated to the legacy of one Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I hope that for those of you who are in the Black community, you went out and you did something regarding that. I hope that you were able to go out and make a difference in your community. If you had a parade for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I hope you were able to participate in that. I hope that if there was a march, you were able to participate in that, or if there was just any kind of community service project that you are a part of, that I hope that you were able to participate in that today. At the end of the day, I think that is one of the things, not everything, but I think that those are some of the things that contribute to Dr. King's legacy. And with that, we know just how much the other side likes to bastardize his words to their own thinkings and their own philosophies. And if any of them were around when Dr. King was around, trust me, they would hate the man. And that's all I got to say about that, is that he wasn't as beloved of a character and as beloved a person in other spaces because of his views and because of his audacity to speak truth to power and his audacity to stand up for the right thing, which was, of course, the advancement of the Negro in America. But of course, we've come, or I don't know if we have come a long way. I mean, there are some things that are better, but then unfortunately, it seems like we're going backwards. So we can only hope and pray and continue to fight the good fight and continue to get in as what uh ro- oh goodness gracious, I'm stumbling over my words, but as Congressman John Lewis once said, good trouble. So I hope that you're finding yourself in some good trouble today and throughout the rest of the week. But with that being said, Black History Month is also coming up as well. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all see I got the Pan-African I got the Pan-African lock sock on. So y'all already know how I am about my people and what I stand for. And with Black History Month coming up, that also means that we're getting ready to do our interview series again. So I'm definitely going to be bringing more Black content creators on and interviewing them and giving them the spotlight because they absolutely deserve it. And I'm going to try and do that throughout the year as well, because I want to be sure that we are highlighting more things in our community, especially with these next 4 years coming up. So I definitely want to be sure that I'm highlighting people who are out here doing great things in the community as well, and that they're able to bless us with some knowledge. And it won't just be, community service leaders as well. I'm also going to, do the usual content creators as well and continue to bring Black artists to this platform as well. It's important for me to do that because I want my people to see that there is more than one avenue to be successful. You don't have to go out and try to be the next NBA player or the next NFL player or dedicate yourself to sports all the time. Granted, we're good at sports. Don't get me wrong. We're the best. But there are definitely other avenues that you can go to succeed. And it also doesn't have to mean that you get a regular 9 to 5 and join corporate America. I mean, yes, I'm a part of corporate America, but I'm trying to find my way out of that. And I'm hoping that this podcast can be a way for me to get out of that situation. But in any case, this is what this platform is for. And with Black History Month coming up, it is going to be my pleasure to make sure that we bring in more Black voices to share their talents and their projects with the world. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. We got a big February coming up. This episode isn't going to be like too long, since again, it's by myself, and hopefully I'm not yapping or rambling for an hour, but there are a couple things that I definitely wanted to touch on. As a Black community, this is just something for fun. What is the one toxic thing that I want my Black community to let go of? And I really want the Black community to let go of this idea that celebrities are your heroes. And I really want to like overstate that fact because unfortunately, there are too many of Black celebrities that are out there who are not there to embrace community. They're not here to help uplift community. They are there solely for the sole purpose of lining their pockets in any way, shape, or form. Well, Ked, what inspired this method of thinking and what inspired you to talk about this to start the episode? Well, in case you've been living under a rock, apparently Snoop Dogg, Nelly, Rick Ross, and Soldier Boy were all tied to the event that was happening today in some shape or form. Now, the really surprising name out of all of this is Snoop because we saw how Snoop was in 2016/2017 when the incoming quote unquote commander in chief at the time when he was first being inaugurated. And we heard Snoop's own comments on social media about how he felt about that. Just for him to turn around and do a crypto banquet in his honor. I I can't tell y'all how baffling that is and why my why my flabbers are gasted or my gastards are flabbered, however you want to say it. But it is not lost on me that this man Snoop has been playing the fence or been playing the both sides of the aisle for quite some time now, and that's really disheartening to say that because Snoop is an absolute legend. But to see him do this in real time, it's so disappointing. It's like I don't really know how to internalize that other than anger and overall disappointment. But to see that he went and did that after the comments he made 8 years ago, it's really just like, really, dude? Really? So pretty much anybody can be bought. And it's not like Snoop is not like Nelly out here, who I know Nelly probably needs the money because Nelly has gambling problems. Nelly probably also has drug problems. And Nelly not making the same coin that Snoop is. Snoop did not need this. Snoop didn't need this. Rick Ross, I don't know. Rick Ross might. Soldier Boy, I don't know, man. And then Soldier Boy went on a whole rant about it. Man, no, nobody gives a fuck, bro. Excuse my language, y'all, but the fact that he even had the gall to, do what he did and say what he did, it's not lost to me, man. But I've never really held Soldier Boy in that high regard that I would be disappointed for him doing a move like this. And honestly, I'm not surprised at Rick Ross either. I mean, Rick Ross lives in Florida, or is from Florida. So y'all know how I feel about certain Floridians. So yeah, there's that. But it's just Snoop is really the big issue here because it feels as though Snoop is going against everything that he said 8 years ago and everything that he quote unquote currently stands for. But maybe it just goes to show that Snoop really doesn't stand for anything. We saw how he was acting during the Kendrick and Drake beef, and I'm gonna get to that in a second too because we got to talk about some shit. But we saw how he acted. We saw how he was kind of playing both sides, and Kendrick called him out on him, saying like, "You reposted Taylor Made. I thought it was the edibles. I couldn't believe it. It was only right for me to let it go." And Snoop responded like, "Hey, you know what? It is the edibles. You the West Coast king," and quote unquote apologize. But still, I'm just thoroughly disappointed seeing that Snoop Dogg would even stoop to that level. And it's crazy because I know that Snoop Dogg is probably going to be forgiven and it's probably going to be forgotten about in the weeks to come. Unlike certain somebody who performed at 45 at the time's inauguration, i.e. Chrisette Michele. her career bottomed out after that. Like it just like the whole floor disappeared and she just fell into a deep hole. And I know that she also suffered from depression after that as well. And I just want to say that as a celebrity, you really just have to be careful of your choices. But then we as people, we as black people, we really can't hold on to these celebrities as our heroes because unfortunately they're going to disappoint us every single time. And it's crazy seeing that. And it's crazy that it's happening in real time. I never imagined Snoop Dogg, of all people, would do some shit like that. Again, Nelly, I understand. Rick Ross, I'm not surprised. Soulja Boy, I'm definitely not surprised. But Snoop, come on, dog. Come on, man. What are we doing? Sad, 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 man. And it's crazy because this person and the policies that he has pretty much go against everything black people have fought for over 400 years. And yet here we are. So that's why I'm saying I really want my black people to let go of idolizing these celebrities, especially these black celebrities, because they're not your heroes. And this is coming from a Kendrick stan. I love Kendrick Lamar, but I will never be so beholden to this guy that I would just follow every single thing that he does and try to excuse every single thing that he does. Like the whole thing with R. Kelly. Granted, that wasn't Kendrick, that was Top Dog, but still it was tied to Kendrick. And it's just like, bro, why would y'all even go that far? Why would y'all even talk about that? Y'all have seen what R. Kelly has done. So if his music got removed, why do you even care? I guess it was more so about censorship because you don't want your music to be censored, which kind of goes into a point that I have later on. But with that in mind, we know the foul shit that R. Kelly has done. And so either way, I just want us as a people to not have to be beholden to these celebrities and follow everything that they do and just become stans of them because they are generally not our heroes. And those who are looking to be positive influences, you just have to be careful of what you do out on these streets because as a celebrity, every little thing that you do is scrutinized and looked at under a microscope. So if you go out and do some shit that Snoop Dogg did, oh, best believe we on your ass. Pause. But that's all that I really wanted to talk to you about as far as what I think black people should let go of. Now, what is one toxic thing that me as a black person cannot let go of, or an idea that me as a black person cannot let go of? I'm sorry, but ginger ale is medicine. I don't care. I don't care. Ginger ale is medicine. Now you have to find the right ginger ale, but ginger ale is medicine. Trust me when I say that when I thought I was having stomach issues before I found out it was the flu, oh, best believe I was drinking ginger ale and that queasy feeling that I was feeling in my stomach was gone. And then the very next day, it felt like I got hit by a brick wall. And that's when I realized, oh, this ain't a stomach virus. This is the flu. But yes, ginger ale works. I don't care who I got to say it to. I don't care what scientific proof that you have. That is one thing that I am not letting go of. I'm not giving up ginger ale. I'm sorry. It's probably about the only soda, quote unquote, that I drink anyway. Like I've pretty much given up dark soda. I only drink a Sprite like once every blue moon. But as far as ginger ale, it's going to be hard for me to give up. Whether I'm sick or whether I'm healthy. Yeah, that's not happening, guys. So I just want y'all to know that that's one thing that I'm not letting go of. We, as black people, believe that ginger ale has healing powers. It was created and crafted and brewed by God himself for us to be able to feel better whenever we have days where we're feeling like, ugh. So, yeah, ginger ale, not going nowhere. no time soon. So I just wanted to throw that out there. There are a couple things that I wanted to talk about. A couple of big issues, I suppose. One of them is this whole TikTok thing. Now, granted, I'm not on TikTok anymore anyway. I deleted the app off my phone for personal reasons. I don't really want to get into it, but there was a reason I was just like, you know what, I can't do it. So I had to delete it off my phone. This is long before the ban, quote unquote, was put in place. I had to get rid of it. It was affecting my peace. And so I can live without TikTok. And honestly, I kept saying that the pod eventually would have to get a TikTok, but now I'm like, I don't really think that that's a good idea considering where this is all going, because now it just seems like all of the social media platforms are pretty much locked down by the elitist right-wing billionaires and tech bros. And it's just like, yeah, we see what that shifty melon Usk has done with Twitter, aka X, aka whatever the hell, and we see what it's devolved into. We see that Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Meta, and pretty much what his ideals are now. If you saw that interview with Joe Rogan, which I still don't understand how he has a platform, but that's neither here nor there. Still, we've seen what Zuck's true feelings are, and it's just kind of like, why would you want to subject yourself to that? But we also see that Meta has also rolled back its DEI initiatives, and I get so angry when people try to say that DEI is a racist practice, and it's not. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is supposed to open the door for people like me and other people of color who would not otherwise be seen as potential targets of hire. And it opens that field up so for us and our work to be seen, and that more qualified people of color can actually be interviewed and be part of the field. By eliminating DEI, you're pretty much saying is that you're afraid to compete with people of color. And by doing that, you've come up with this idea that because a person is black, or because a person is brown skin, or because a person is a minority, that they are automatically less qualified than a white person. That is terrible. That is a terrible mindset to have. And it's a racist mindset to have. Because 9.9 times out of 10, that person of color had to work 3 times as hard to get the qualifications that the other person did. But if y'all are going to use DEI as a method to attack us and to attack initiatives to hire more people of color, then I'm just going to start saying legacy hire, saying that y'all don't really earn it. Y'all don't have the qualifications. You've just earned your position because you know somebody in the company, or your daddy helped you get that position, or you got a rich uncle that helped you get that position. You didn't really deserve it. You don't really qualify for it. I'm going to start using that, and I'm going to see how y'all feel about that. It's the same thing with these universities, man, and them, gutting affirmative action. Yet there are plenty of colleges that still won't gut legacy admissions. And it's like, why not? If you're going to cut down on affirmative action saying that it's quote unquote racist or discriminatory, then you should absolutely do that for legacy admissions, saying that it's discriminatory against other people who may not have the same connections you do. So I definitely think that we need to talk more about these legacy emissions as well. But that's beside the point. Mark Zuckerberg is, rolled back his DEI initiatives and then went on the podcast and made a total fool of himself, in my opinion. So unfortunately, with him being the owner of Threads, Instagram, and Facebook, and then with the new rules in place that are going to be put on these apps, it's just kind of like, I don't know. No, but then TikTok, talk about propaganda. I have never thought that the CEO of TikTok would pretty much be championing the now president of saving the app when he was the one who put in the damn executive order back in 2020 to have the app banned in the first place. What that's like there's a quote there that I'm trying to think of, but I'm gonna just use this analogy. That's like praising a person for taking you to the hospital, even though they're the ones that hit you purposely with their car. That's like praising the guy that took you to the doctor's office, even though he's the one that purposely broke your arm. It's like praising the guy who is an arsonist and burned down your building, but he was the one that called 911. What? Come on, dog. And then it's crazy because Biden didn't uphold the ban. He said, let whatever the administration's coming in, let them figure it out. Even though the Supreme Court upheld the ban, Biden is just like, I'm not going to enforce it. My administration's not going to enforce it. But what does TikTok do anyway? In America, they go offline. And then they want to praise the other guy for quote unquote helping bring it back because he said, oh, now I want to save TikTok. And then the fact that there are so many people on TikTok who actually fell for that okie doke. Like, what are we doing, y'all? It's just like, do y'all have short-term memory? Don't answer that, because I know that a lot of American people do, because it's like y'all didn't care that 1 million Americans died in 2020. Y'all wanted to bring that old motherfucker back, excuse my language, because I guess it's because of the price of eggs, or y'all thought that he actually showed leadership when letting 1 million Americans die really, really just shows how inept of a leader he really is. But let's not really get into that. Still, TikTok, man, that is such the biggest propaganda move that I've ever seen. And it cannot be overstated how big of a propaganda that was. Y'all did not have to go dark, but you decided to go dark. And then you decided to come back not even a full 24 hours later and say, oh, we thank President you-know-who for working with us. Man, get the hell out of here with that bullshit. I want my people to do better, man. And I get that if TikTok was actually like banned for real, I understand how that could affect a lot of people's livelihoods, because there were people who make their money off TikToks. There are a lot of people on there who are making their career off that app. So I don't want it to be this thing where I'm coming after the app or coming after the people who are making a living on that app. That's not what I'm doing. What I am doing is attacking the people who run the app by pretty much falling for the propaganda. And now you've at this point bended the knee and kissed the ring of the right-wing propaganda machine that is pretty much taking over all of our social media. Shout out to Blue Sky, though. Blue Sky still seems to be wholesome. So I'm hoping that we as a society move away from some of these apps that are controlled by these right-wing populist billionaires who are only going to continue to get richer off of our backs. I kind of have to keep the pods on these apps, unfortunately, because of what attention it brings to the pod. But if I could, man, if I really could, I would not have my podcast on X. I would not have my podcast on Threads, on Instagram, and I would not have my pod on Facebook. I would really, really just stick with Blue Sky, because now I see the direction that these apps are going. And it just seems that the right wing, finally, they have won by pretty much taking over our beloved and favorite social media apps. And we just sat there and let it happen. In any case, if you are thrilled that TikTok is still around, I can guarantee you that it's probably not going to be the same. And anything that goes against the right-wing machine is probably going to get your videos either banned, deleted, or it won't have the same reach that your other videos did. At least if you're stateside. Now, if you're, across the globe, it's probably not going to affect you any. But those who live in America, well, buckle up, cowboy. This is what you asked for. This is what you're gonna get. Anyway, that's all I kind of have to say about TikTok. Will I ever get a TikTok? Probably not. I mean, I had one. I didn't make any videos on there. I was just there to lurk and watch videos. But will I ever return to the app personally? No. Again, from a political standpoint, I just don't feel that it aligns, especially with the bullshit that they had going on right now, but also to protect my peace. So, I had to make a few, I don't want to say regrettable, but I just had to make a few unfortunate decisions to pretty much protect my peace and my character, because if I stayed on that app, all it was going to do was, unfortunately, make me upset. So I had to get off. But that's just my vantage point. I can't speak for everybody. I know what that app means to a lot of people, especially those who make their career off that app. So if you are continuing to get the bag from TikTok, by all means, don't let this video stop you. Don't let my opinion stop you. But I just got my own personal feelings about it. So there's that. Anyway, I can't believe that I'm still talking about this Kendrick and Drake beef. And granted, it was the biggest beef in hip hop in the last 20 years. So that's probably all we're going to be talking about for a while. And it's going to be cemented in hip hop's legacy forever. In the same way that a lot of us still talk about the East Coast, West Coast beef, or the Pac and Biggie beef, and the Nas and Jay-Z feud, or the 50 Cent and Ja Rule feud. Hell, even the Drake and Meek Mill feud, people still talk about that. Or the Drake and Pusha T feud, or the Pusha T and Lil Wayne feud, or the Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma feud. Like, these are feuds that are going to continuously be a part of hip hop culture. And especially with the Kendrick and Drake feud being as big as it was and is, it's not going anywhere. I wanted to talk more about the music, but it just seems that Aubrey keeps making these dumbass decisions. And because it's just so against the values and the morals of hip hop, it's just kind of like, well, what the trying not to get demonetized. But anyway, y'all, I'm really just trying to find the patience to kind of word this so that I don't like go off, but just so that way you've all heard it at this point. It's been about a week. So Drake had pretty much rescinded his petition that UMG and Spotify allowed bots to, I guess, to inflate the numbers for Not Like Us. He rescinded that petition, only for him to turn right around and drop an actual lawsuit against UMG. Again, not against Kendrick, but against UMG, saying that the song Not Like Us was defamatory, and that it pretty much was a blow to his brand, and that it endangered his life, and that, of course, the numbers were inflated, and all of this bullshit, man. I just want to say that you've all seen the news at this point. You've all seen, what has been going on regarding that damn lawsuit, and whatever out of the fence you're on. I'm just gonna say, I get why under normal circumstances, like if Drake didn't participate in this beef and Kendrick just came out of nowhere with Not Like Us, I would understand why Drake, would drop a lawsuit. Like, bro, I was minding my own business. Crody. Like, where did this come from? I'm gonna have to like put out a lawsuit because I didn't defame you in any, way or form. But that's not what happened. That is not what happened. We all know that Drake was a willing participant in this feud. And when you are a willing participant in a rap battle, whatever happens, happens. Maybe Aubrey should have thought about that before he brought Kendrick's spouse into this. If Not Like Us was so damaging, maybe you should have thought about the words that you chose. But again, it's hip hop. It's a rap battle. If nothing is off the table, Kendrick warned you. If you take it there, I'm taking it further. You take it to the internet, I'm going to take it there. We ain't got to get personal. This is a friendly fade. You should keep it that way. He warned you multiple times. And yet, you still had to do it. If anybody who should be suing for being defamed is Whitney Alford, Kendrick's fiance and the mother of his children. If anybody who should be suing for defamation is her. Because in this battle, Drake, you said that her son was not Kendrick's son, but that it was Dave Freeze, and that Kendrick is a wife beater. So not only did you claim her to be unfaithful, but you also said that she was a victim of domestic violence. So they have every right to file a defamation suit themselves. And you know what? They did not. Why? Because Kendrick won. And even if he didn't win, he would not stoop so low as to do that dumbass shit, because that's not hip hop. I believe RDC said this in their reaction, because what ended up happening throughout this lawsuit is that Drake named like a lot of reactors who reacted to Not Like Us and got millions of views off of it, because he was saying that the song was pretty much whitelisted and it allowed for them to monetize off the views and to the reactions of the song, which is crazy because if I'm not mistaken, Push-Ups by Drake was also whitelisted, and the copyrights were restricted so that way people could react to it and get their view count up because of that. So what are we doing here? But anyway, Mark said the biggest L that you could have is not being able to take your L's. And it's so crazy that Drake just can't get out of the way of his own hubris, of his own arrogance. It's like in his mind, he thinks that there is no way that Not Like Us was as big as it is. He must have cheated. In his mind, he's like, there is no way that Kendrick was able to win the court of public opinion. That should be me all day. I'm the more popular one. I'm the more famous one. I have more hits. He doesn't have any more the bigger listener count on Spotify, at least not right now. Kendrick's listener count is actually higher than his, but at the time, he's like, I've got more listeners across the board on these streaming apps. All of my albums have higher numbers than Kendrick. I have more radio hits, more Billboard hits. There is no way I could have lost the public opinion. There's just no way. It's like he can't get out of his own way, and he can't get out of his own head that he took an L. Or rather, the L was as big as it was. And we talked about, this is not the first L that Drake took, because obviously Drake took the L to Pusha T. But unfortunately, Pusha T is not as big of a name as Kendrick. And we know this. And this is why the Aubrey's Angels, like the real in deep stands, they really, really get me upset, because it's like, why are y'all treating Kendrick like he's some no-name SoundCloud artist? Like he just got famous out of nowhere with this beef. No, that's not what happened. People keep talking about the Drake effect. Well, why didn't it work for Pusha T? Why didn't it work for Common when they were beefing? It's because they can't fathom in their heads that Kendrick is as big as an artist as he is. And I think one of the biggest mistakes Drake made was he severely underestimated just how much of a psychopath Kendrick really is. He thought that he could play the meat game battling Kendrick. Now, do I think Drake gave it his all? Probably. Because if you know Drake as an artist, now granted, he's still an incredible artist. He's still one of the biggest out there. Don't get me wrong. But if you know his history of biting flows and biting styles, yeah. So I'm just like, you got your ass kicked. But for some reason, he just can't believe that. But still, in the midst of all this, he did not sue Kendrick. He sued UMG, which distributes both his and Kendrick's music. It just doesn't make any sense that he's going this route because it's clearly not to help out the smaller artists. No, this is all about Drake being a selfish nigga who can't take his L and wants to find a way to get more money out of this situation. He wants to try to win the legal battle of the beef because he's certainly got his ass kicked in the lyrical and song for song battle. And I don't want y'all coming up in here saying, oh, well, Family Matters is the best song in the beef. Really? If it is, then why hasn't it done the numbers that it did? That Not Like Us did. If Family Matters was as great as y'all say that it is, quote unquote, then it would have withstood everything that happened to it, including being stepped on by Meet the Grams, and it still would have been one of the biggest tracks in the summer. Instead, it was not. It wasn't. Not Like Us is the undisputed champion this year. And I could go into another in-depth analysis on how I think that Kendrick just downright slaughtered him from the moment that Euphoria dropped. Beat his ass again with 616 in LA. Absolutely dismantled him with Meet the Grams. And then Not Like Us was really just the victory lap. And yet that ended up being the biggest song. I could really go in depth into that. But at this point, I'm pretty sure that y'all have seen every video analysis regarding this entire beef. And again, you saw our reaction last year. I don't want to have to, dive deep into that again. But still, it really just upsets me that Aubrey, or Lawbury, as all of us are calling him now, it just really upsets me that he decided to go this route because he took an L. Because had he won this beef, this lawsuit would not exist. It just wouldn't. But no, boy can't even come to terms with the fact that he took an L. If he had just shut his mouth, if he had gone away for a while, he would have been all right. People would have missed him. They would have wanted him to come back and drop some more music. And at the same time, I'm not saying that people would forget, but especially Black people in the hip hop community, they are forgiving people. And I believe I saw that in the video somewhere else as well. I don't know if it was Deleted who said that or if it was another person. I want to say Deleted said that. But it's just the fact that he stayed in our face afterwards, dropped mid-ass music in between there, and couldn't stay on the charts if his life depended on it. And yet goes the route of filing a lawsuit and naming not only reactors, but they're Black reactors on top of that. Mind you, there were plenty of white reactors out there. And he didn't name a single one in that lawsuit. That man named Kai Cenat, RDC, the Cartier family. Well, I don't really give a F about the Cartier family because they're MAGA. And yeah, them boys, I don't really care. Whatever. But it's just the fact that they happen to be Black, and he named all of these Black reactors in this particular lawsuit, but failed to mention any of the white reactors who also got huge numbers from this beef as well. What is that line that Dr. Umar says? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? Because I certainly do. That's wild, Drake. That is absolutely wild. Now, granted, again, the lawsuit isn't targeting them. They're not targets of the lawsuit. It's just the fact that they're being named because he wants to prove that UMG inflated the numbers of Not Like Us because it whitelisted the song for these reactors. But UMG was doing the same thing for Drake's diss songs as well. So I don't get it. I don't get it. In any case, because Aubrey was a willing, and I mean a willing participant in this rap battle, it's going to be hard to prove defamation. I don't know what else he's looking for. I don't know. I really don't know what else to tell him. I mean, not that he would listen to me. I just do a podcast and an occasional reaction video on YouTube. I'm just a no-name guy from Charleston, South Carolina, living in Baltimore in the middle of his den in an apartment doing these videos because I love talking about these subjects, but it's just so infuriating as a fan of hip hop to see that this is the direction that Drake went. Excuse me. I don't get it. It's not hip hop. And if somehow Drake was able to win, when I tell you this would be the absolute downfall of hip hop in general, because in the black community, people have been joking on each other for years. It's part of our culture, unfortunately. And FD Signifier definitely like pointed this out. Like this goes back further than the birth of hip hop. And so this has been a part of our culture for generations upon generations. And the diss song has been a part of hip hop for as long as anybody can remember. We're talking all the way back into the 80s. The diss song has always been a part of our culture. And so if this lawsuit, for whatever reason, if Drake was able to come out victorious, it pretty much it would mean the end of diss songs, because if people try to throw out a diss track at another person, that other person could just take it to court and sue them. It would effectively be a dismantling of hip hop as we know it. And then pretty much all we would get is the same boring ass milquetoast pop rap songs that Drake has been dropping for the last 4 years. And nothing special. All because the man couldn't take almost said the F-bomb. All because he couldn't take an L. What are we doing, guys? This is not hip hop. I'm sorry. You could be the biggest Drake fan in the world. What Drake did is some absolute 100% bona fide hoe shit. It's some hoe shit. There's nothing more that I can say about it. Like, this some hoe ass shit. This some lame ass shit. And now I'm looking at Drake with a different eye, like, bro, you really a lame ass nigga out here, bro. We filing lawsuits on diss songs now? Where the hell they do that at? And like I said, I could understand if Dot came out at him out of nowhere and he didn't participate. And he's just like, why are you slandering me like this? Like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Now I gotta sue because like you're defaming my name out here and I haven't said a word towards you. But that's not what happened. Drake was a willing participant. And matter of fact, he egged it on. Drop. Like, what the it's taking so long? We waiting on you. You kept egging him on. And then you got your ass whooped. And now you're taking it to court. Talk about privilege. That is a privileged dude, man. No wonder people kept saying that they not like us. And that's another thing. He tried to say that being called a colonizer was anti-Semitic. because it's attacking his Jewish heritage. And that is the most crock of shit I've ever heard. Bro, this entire time, and I wonder if Drake is just trying to spin this narrative or if he really believes this, because this is crazy. This entire time, Kendrick did not call him a colonizer based on his race, based on the fact that he's a biracial Jewish man. He did not once point that out. Kendrick called him a colonizer because Drake, at any point in time that he needed something hot, he ran to Atlanta or he ran to another artist to take their sound. We can go back from the beginning. Who was Drake sounding like when he was first coming out? Some people say Fonte. Most people will say Joe Budden. What was he doing when If You're Reading This Is Too Late was coming out? Atlanta. That's Atlanta sound all throughout. What a time to be alive. Future. When Lil Baby was coming out, took Baby Style. Like, Not Like Us was just showing that you don't have a sound of your own. You're taking these other people's sounds and molding it into your own and capitalizing off of it. That's what he's saying. He's just like, bro, you don't have your own thing. You colonize people's sounds. And that's why he got called a colonizer. But to turn it into something that's anti-Semitic, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And that's why I really hope that this shit don't succeed. I don't suspect it will. Because one, he's going up against UMG, and UMG got like a brilliant team of lawyers and attorneys. But at the same time, it's just like, man, there are plenty of ways to go at the machine, especially when it comes to these labels, because we know that Sony, Universal, and there's like two other main, I guess Warner Brothers. So, and there's probably another one out there, but between Warner Brothers, Sony, and Universal, like these are the major label groups. And I understand that they are not the cleanest. I mean, they've probably, and they have done some shady shit in the past. Ask Michael Jackson, ask Prince. But to go at them from this angle, this not it. This not it. This is not going to be held up in court. And I'm not a lawyer, but I've got family members who are lawyers. I've got friends who are lawyers, and they all told me that this lawsuit is some bullshit. Like, Drake is not going to succeed. But on the off chance that he does, I'm going to pray for the state of hip hop. That's all I can say, because that would pretty much be the nail in the coffin. You won't have to worry about diss songs anymore or trying to go at another rapper on wax. It's just not happening. But anyway, those are the main topics that I wanted to cover. As we get up out of here, there is one video that I actually want to react to. I've already saw the Screwface Jean song. Shout out to Screwface Jean, man. He's one of like he's a really dope lyricist and a really dope reactor. But he has a song called Opless. If you haven't checked it out, please be sure that you do so. I want to react to a Mick Jenkins song that apparently dropped that kind of like diss Joey Badass. And I believe the song is called Wars and Rumors of Wars. I have not checked this out yet. So hopefully, and it's a freestyle, so hopefully I'll be able to listen to it in real time. And it's only like 2 minutes long, 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. So hopefully it's really good. And I'm a big fan of Mick Jenkins. I haven't heard from Mick in quite some time too. So I'm ready for this shit. All right, let me actually share my screen here. React.
That'll make you angry as a motherfucker.
They said it wouldn't be televised. You would think it ain't no revolution. You shine a light and niggas translucent. Type crazy, no Cam Newton. These niggas ain't Panthers. These niggas in white hoods like clan movements. We seeing tap dances. Keep seeing crossovers. These niggas ain't hooping.
He already talking some shit. This is why I like Mick, bro. Mick is as real as they get. And he's a very, very underrated lyricist. Hold on, let's go back.
You would think it ain't no revolution.
Oh, hold on.
That'll make you angry as a motherfucker.
They said it wouldn't be televised. You would think it ain't no revolution.
Shout out to Gil Scott Heron.
You shine a light and niggas translucent. Type crazy, no Cam Newton. These niggas ain't Panthers. These niggas in white hoods like clan movements. We seeing tap dances. Keep seeing crossovers. These niggas ain't hooping. Glossed over, nigga. We see it, no fly.
Hold on.
Clan movements. We seeing tap dances. Keep seeing crossovers. These niggas ain't hooping.
Keep seeing crossovers. These niggas ain't hooping. That's a bar.
Glossed over, nigga, we see it, no fly list. Niggas ain't tripping. In the cut like state troopers. Corpse flower, late bloomer. Niggas talking about the old ways. Okay, boomer. Slime put up in the old school.
Niggas talk about the old ways. Okay, boomer. I fuck with that too, man. Like I promise you, like I'm gonna stop doing this, but Mick is so underrated, man. I really wish he got more love. For real. Like The Waters is one of my favorite mixtapes. The Healing Component is one of my favorite healing albums. Like that album was made for people like me, for real. So shout out to Mick Jenkins. He's got a lot of dope projects out there too. I just wish, again, that he got more love.
We seeing tap dances. Keep seeing crossovers. These niggas ain't hooping. Glossed over, nigga. We see it, no fly list. Niggas ain't tripping. In the cut like state troopers. Corpse flower, late bloomer. Niggas talking about the old ways. Okay, boomer. Slime put up in the old school. Crooked letter with the Vogue shoes. I know he a straight shooter. Keep a beat like a pacemaker. Keep the heat, we some peacemakers. Go.
Keep the beat like a pacemaker.
Keep the heat, we some peacemakers.
Keep the heat, we some peacemakers.
I know he a straight shooter. Keep a beat like a pacemaker. Keep the heat, we some peacemakers. Go debate Buddha. Placeholders out here claiming ruler week.
Oh, I missed that part. Go debate Buddha. Damn. All right, let me stop.
Pacemaker, keep the heat, we some peacemakers. Go debate Buddha. Placeholders out here claiming ruler, we going yard. Fairs Bueller got no regard for the new school. I'm so appalled. Don't come at me with the Fisher prices or the tissue paper. No, it's gonna dissolve. On the fringe, I could never come in under par. I'm overgalled. Got it out the mud with both strokes like it's motocross. Niggas gotta learn to hold a loss. These days, I know a broken sauce when I see one. Don't get your bread.
Gotta learn to hold a loss. Did we not just talk about this? Did we not just talk about this, guys? Anyway. Yeah.
These days, I know a broken sauce when I see one. Don't get your bread. Niggas gotta learn to hold a loss. These days, I know a broken sauce when I see one. Don't get your bread. 6'5", don't hit your head. Like a series finale, I'm going off. Full page, y'all couldn't buy me. Niggas hyenas. This shit is an elephant graveyard. Got them knock me, nigga, not me. Fuck is you talking about lost sleep? Fuck with a nigga who don't rap. Got to tell me, you niggas is lost sheep. These niggas is off Zans. I give them more bars, we'll need an autopsy. You need it in bulk. I'm Costco. Got it jumping. These niggas is not fleet. Fuck is you talking about top 3? They try to tell me it's nachos, a bodega the way that I chop cheese. Secondhand niggas can't clock me. The shit that I'm talking.
A bodega the way that I chop cheese. And there's some other like dope ass rhymes in there too, but damn, bro. Going off.
Top 3. They try to tell me it's nachos, a bodega the way that I chop cheese. Secondhand niggas can't clock me. The shit that I'm talking is hours. No,
I missed the part where he tied it into that nacho line. That's this nigga's dope. This nigga is dope.
I give them more bars, we'll need an autopsy. You need it in bulk, I'm Costco. Got it jumping, these niggas is not fleet.
Needed in bulk. Costco. Okay, caught that.
Fuck is you talking about top three? They try to tell me it's nachos, a bodega the way that I chop cheese. Secondhand niggas can't clock me. The shit that I'm talking is hours, no 15 minutes could ever just stop me. Know where I'm getting my power, but truthfully don't really deal in the problems. Just Godspeed, my nigga. What? Niggas claiming king bet. Niggas popping flash. What? I ain't seen no wings yet. Shit, all I see is strings bet.
Now, people saying that this is a Joey diss. I don't see it, and I saw Joey Badass's video earlier today. But I think this is definitely Mick just popping his shit like, hey, wait a minute. Like, don't y'all forget about me. Like, oh, I think that placeholder line was kind of directed at him. Okay. But yeah. That was Mick locked in, man. Mick is locked in for sure, for sure. I'm so glad he's back outside. So glad. So glad to see him back outside for real, for real. I'm hoping that means that we get more music from Mick Jenkins. But anyway, y'all, I've held y'all up enough. It's been an hour in, and I said I wasn't going to take too long, so I'm going to go ahead and end off the episode. But thank you guys for being patient with me as I get back into my regular bearings, as I got healthy, and we are officially coming back. So, yeah, I do apologize once again that this is the first episode of 2025. I wanted to drop a couple weeks ago, but, things happened, work happened, and then I caught the flu. So it is what it is. But, yep, expect to see more of me as time goes on, ladies and gentlemen. And, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what we got in store for the pod. So please be sure that you tune in. With that, I don't have any final thoughts other than just to stay vigilant, stay consistent, and most importantly, just take care of yourself and protect your peace. That's really the most important thing that I can say, especially during this turbulent time. So please, y'all, please be sure that you do all that you can. And that's really all that you can do. Just do what you can. I am probably not going to go ahead and do the rundown. I will probably say that for another episode because I got to edit one. And then there are so many other things that I got to do as well. So there's that. But with that in mind, I am going to still end off this episode with, the plugs. Please be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Please be sure that you follow and listen to us on your favorite DSP. That could be Apple Music, that could be Spotify, whether it be iHeart, whether it be Amazon Music, or whether it be YouTube. Please be sure that you tune into us. Again, if you are watching or listening on YouTube, please be sure that you like the video. Please be sure that you subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast and hit that notification bell, of course, as well. You can follow us on Facebook at, Chaotic Culture Podcast. You can also follow us on X/Twitter at Chaotic Culture 1. You can follow us on Instagram and Threads at Chaotic Culture Pod. And you can follow us on Blue Sky at chaoticculture.bsky.social. Also, please be sure that you subscribe to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Chaotic Culture Pod for bonus episodes, bonus content, and early access to the episodes. Of course, you can subscribe at any of the 4 levels, whether it be $3, $5, $7, or $10. Once again, we still appreciate your support. And then, of course, you can follow me, Ked the Pro. That's K3D the Pro on all social media. You can follow Steve at ScubaSteve1428 on all social media. You can follow Law on Instagram at L.JR_96. And you can follow him on X/Twitter at Law96_. You can follow Sappy on all social media at Scraps14. You can follow Miss Nasa at I'm Nakaso on all social media. And you can follow Johnny at Jaylee Trey on all social media. And I think that's it, guys. This has been another episode of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. So until next time, folks, remember, Embrace the culture. Chaos rules. Be blessed. Be safe. God is love. And we are out of here. Deuces. Gunshots all day. Gunshots all day. We out.
Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?